In this video, we're going to talk about the spread operator. With the help of the spread operator, we can extract the values of an array or of an object, and then we can do whatever we want with those values. Let's see an example of that. Let's say example 1 here, because we're going to see about 8 examples today, so I will separate them with comments. So let me say something like sum equal to a plus b. Let's say that we have this function sum, which sums these two parameters. And let's say we have an array of numbers equal to 2 and 3. So this is an array of two values, 2 and 3. Now, I want to say console log sum numbers. So I want to sum these two numbers using this sum function, but this function receives two parameters, but here I am only sending the array. What I want to do is to send these two values individually. One way of doing this would be to say 0 and numbers 1. So in this way, I am sending the 2 and the 3. But there is a better way of doing this, and that is with the spread operator. With the spread operator, we will be able to extract these values from here and send them as parameters to this function. So let's do that. Let me delete this and let me just say ... And that's actually it. With this, we are extracting the values of this array. Let's see that. Let's go to the terminal, new terminal, and I will say here node spread, tab, enter. And as you can see, we have 5 here, which means that indeed we sent 2 and 3 into this sum function. What else can we do with the spread operator? We can concatenate arrays with it. For example, let's say example 2, and I will say const more numbers equal to 1 and numbers. But look at what we're doing. I am saying that this array more numbers will be equal to 1, 2, and 3. This is different than saying const more numbers 2 equal to 1 numbers. There is a big difference between these two. This one is 1, 2, and 3, but this one is 1 array 2 and 3. This one have an array of 3 elements, and this one is an array of 2 elements. The first element is a number and the second element is another array. So again, they are really different. Here we are concatenating the values of the arrays. And we can also do the following. We can say const more numbers 3 equal to 1 numbers with the spread operator, and 4 and 5. So the value of this array more number 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have concatenated the 1, the values of the numbers array, and then 4 and 5. As you can see, it is really easy to concatenate arrays by using the spread operator. Of course, we can concatenate arrays in this way. Let's say example 3. I can say other numbers equal to 4 and 5, and I can say const concatenated arrays equal to a spread operator of numbers and a spread operator of other numbers, and this will be equal to 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Something else that we can do is to combine the structuring with the spread operator. For example, what if we want, let's say this array, for example, what if we want to have this first element in a variable and the rest of the array in another variable? We can do that. Let's say example 4, and let me close this and let me put a column here, and I will say const first. Look that we are doing a destructuring, which is why we are declaring this variable using a square bracket. And after that, we're going to say the remaining values. As its name implies, this array will have the remaining values of our array. So let's say concatenated arrays, And now let's console log this, because first it's going to be equal to 2, and console log the remaining values, which will be an array with the values 3, 4, and 5. Let's see that. Let me comment this out so that we don't have any other values in the terminal. I will open the terminal and I will repeat note spread operator, enter, and as you can see we have 2, which is this value, and 3, 4, 5, which is the remaining values array. So this is indeed working. Something else that we do with the spread operator is to clone things. For example, we can clone an array. As you know, an array is a reference value, which means that when we store an array in a variable, we are not storing the value itself, but a reference to the value. So if you want to be able to have 2 versions of the array and modify one and not modify the other, you can clone it. For example, I can say const concatenated arrays clone, and I can clone in this way. I can say concatenated arrays. And that's actually it. With this we have 2 versions of the same array, and they are independent from each other. Now let's talk about the spread operator but with objects.